All right, we are rolling. Happy Wednesday. It's so nice to see everybody. Hey, Suki. Hey, Jeannie. Hey, everybody else coming in on our different medias. We're on Facebook today. We're on Zoom today. We are also on Instagram. So, welcome. I'm so happy to be here with you for another Wellness Wednesday. And so, if we haven't met before, I'd love to introduce myself. My name is Lauren Baptiste, and I am an executive wellness coach and founder of Akaloa Wellness. I was inspired to do this Wellness Wednesday episodes each week because it's my mission and my purpose and my dharma to give hardworking individuals the tools, the techniques, and the mindset shifts to be successful every single day in every single season of your life. And so we are in this month of June/July, happy July. We are focusing on women in the workplace. And so for the next few weeks, we are focusing on topics that relate to you and your job and working and mixing it all together. So if you are between jobs, you're still in a great place because you're going to learn things that benefit you in your profession, but also beyond it as well. And so today's episode is all about wellness itself in the workplace. So last week we talked about a technique, an efficiency technique, the Pomodoro technique that was really great, and individuals were giving me a lot of positive feedback about it. So I'm so happy you found that useful. And today we're going to kick it off again with a little bit of statistics to talk about a different perspective of women in the workplace. And so what I wanted to do is share a little bit of what I've learned from a study from Alight. I hope I said it right, but it's spelled ALIGHT. And what they came up with is this beautiful wellness survey. And they do this every single year. The one thing is, if you look it up on your own, that it doesn't include post-COVID effects. So what they did that was really amazing is that they used the study based on the information that was gathered prior to COVID. And then what they added to it was their assumptions based on the current state of the environment, of coronavirus, of the economic, of the social, of the physical, right? All of the effects that are happening to us. And so I think it's a really beautiful resource if you want to look at it on your own. But I wanted to focus first on what a workplace sees as wellness. And so I would love to know, does this resonate? Does this agree? Does your company focus on these things for you? I would love to know. It always is just really great to see a real perspective and to hear what you are thinking. But they quantify wellness in 5 different topics. They talk about physical wellness, mental wellness, financial wellness, social, and career. And so we cover a lot of that in Akaloa Wellness, right? Our organization, it's a holistic approach. It's taking all these different areas and finding your well-being in that. And it's yours. And what's different from your neighbor or from your partner is going to be different of what your definition of wellness is. But for the purposes of this survey, for the purposes of what they see and what companies are seeing as wellness, is it covers these broader topics. Hey, Missy, welcome. So great to have you. All right. So we are looking at the Alight 2020 Employee Wellbeing Mindset Study, and we are kicking off women in the workplace. So let's get right into it. One thing, and that we focus on when we talk, most of our clients are millennials. And so it's so funny because some of us will be like, I'm not a millennial, but millennials are anyone that's pretty much in like their late 20s, early 30s, all the way until hitting about 40. So it's that like 10 to 12 year span. So surprise if you didn't know, you might be a millennial where you didn't think you were, and you were just like those kids, but you might be one of those kids yourself. And so because Akaloa Wellness works with a lot of millennials, we break it down, and today we're going to talk about it for established millennials, right? So those are trending maybe in their mid 30s and up. And then you have the emerging millennials who are coming into their 30s. And so although there are a lot of similarities, there are also some differences too. So one of the pieces that I'm extracting from this study that I loved is it talks about well-being priorities by generation. And one of the number one priorities for well-being I'll give you a moment to think about it. So do you think it would be physical health, mental health, social, career, financial? Give you a second just to think. If you want to put it in the chat. All right, 3, 2, 1. Okay. The answer is, drum roll, reducing debt. So financial is the #1 well-being priority. And I find that so interesting. Yeah, I see on the Instagram financial, and financial is so important. We think that, well-being is just doing yoga poses or going for a run. Well-being spans far and wide. This is why today's episode is talking about women in the workplace, because it goes beyond just wellness of how my body is doing or do I have a six pack. It doesn't matter if you're struggling to make ends meet and you're drowning in debt, right? We hear this term, we hear statistics like 1% of individual, or what's the study? Yeah, I don't know. I'm going to blank on that study, but it's saying like most people don't even have any savings. I don't have the perfect numbers right in front of me, but most don't have, they say, even $100 in their bank account. So you can imagine that we're struggling paycheck to paycheck. And even if we are living that life where we have everything, right? We have the great house or apartment, we have all of the things that would make us feel like we have it all. But if we're struggling every month to pay, to live within our means, within a budget, then we start to feel stress, we start to feel financial burden, and we start to feel unwell. Think about how that stress can start to eat at you over time. So I really appreciated that this study had debt as #1. For #2, it has, for emerging millennials, reducing or managing stress. So we are here because, right, they go hand in hand. Stress is not alone from finances. It's not alone from relationship. And so the #2 for established millennials is not living beyond means or staying within a budget. So again, that's another financial one. So for our established millennials, right, the ones that are 35 and up, they're not living, right, they're seriously struggling with financial health. And so I am thinking, and I would love to know your opinion, but I'm thinking of doing next month all about finances. So we can just learn some simple ways, some simple tools to incorporate financial wellness. Why would a wellness coach be talking about financial wellness? Well, I was a CPA. I still am a CPA, which is a certified public accountant in the state of New York. And so it's important to me in my own well-being that I'm managing my money, that I'm living within my means. And it's so important when I'm working with clients that they are doing the same exact thing. So oftentimes we'll kind of go on a tangent, but it's not a tangent. It's helping you build your financial future, which is helping you build your future. So let's not underestimate the need for financial well-being. All right. That being said, there are many more on this list, but if you see what millennials are needing after that budget piece, it talks about balancing work and life priorities. It talks about maintaining relationships, talks about eating healthy, and then career is coming towards the bottom with retirement at the end. So it's still coming back full circle to financial support. So this is really important, and we're going to take it there probably in the next few weeks. I would love to know if this is of interest to you. Let me know, because if you are feeling the importance of financial well-being, I want to make sure I'm supporting you in every single way. And so one thing today that we'll talk about, because we're going to put a pin in the current debt piece, but even between now and when we start to do those modules, it could be a great task, maybe one night, to just look and see. So many clients that I speak to, so many individuals that talk about debt are too scared to even open their credit card statement, or too worried to even look about what the interest rate is on their student loans from 15 years ago. This is really important. So if you start anywhere, just start by opening, start by looking, start by understanding, because the more we keep it at arm's length, the more we never get fully involved. And so it's a slow relationship, right? Maybe you're just going on a first date with your bank account. Look and see, understand what's going on. And if you don't fully know, okay, well, how much should be attributed to house or this or that, we'll talk about it next month. So let's put a pin in that for now, and we can focus on that in the future. But I would love for you to be able to look into that, because that your finances is what creates your freedom, creates your well-being, creates that lightness that you're not worried paycheck to paycheck. And so I wish that for you. Thank you for your sweet comment. I really appreciate that. I love all the chats, so feel free to keep on chatting. And I would love to know, in terms of your mindset, what's so important to you? Because although this is, saying millennials are experiencing this, your priority, your well-being priority might be different. So again, physical, mental, financial, social, career, according to this All Light 2020 Employee Well-Being Mindset Study. All right, let's keep going. One thing that I really loved that they talked about, so I'm giving all my props to this study today because I just found it really inclusive and just amazing. And so one thing that we know this, but we're going to say it again because it's so important to learn, is about burnout. And it says that millennials, specifically emerging millennials and women and virtual workers, are most likely to report symptoms of burnout. Okay, most of you listening to this are those top three, right? We're now virtual workers. We are women, and some of us men too. It's great if you're listening, and so hi and welcome. It's great, but we're generally talking to women here, and emerging millennials. So if you're in your mid-30s, you may be experiencing burnout. And so one thing when we talk about burnout is we're used to it looking like back to back, running from meeting to meeting, back to back, running across the city from one location to another, maybe work travel, maybe takeout meals, right? That's what burnout used to be pre-COVID. Now, burnout is looking like I'm not sleeping. I can't disconnect from my computer because I'm always expected to be working. Or I have a fear that my job, and you can fill in the blank, maybe is going to have a transition, maybe is going to do layoffs, maybe is expecting you to be working 24 hours a day, right? These are this is our reality. And the way we can think about burnout, right? It's different, but it's the same. And it's like a virus, right? Like we talk about even coronavirus. Some experience it through not being able to taste food. Others are experiencing it by not being able to breathe very well. Like, notice how it's the same thing, but how it comes in is different. And so in this time of COVID, what's really important that we know is that burnout still exists. It's just taking a new form. And so when we're talking about burnout, it's incredible to even read these statistics that over 2/5, they're saying 43% of employees are experiencing the symptoms of burnout, which is significantly higher than what it's been in past years. And a lot of that is attributed to this inability to disconnect, this expectation to be perfect, this expectation to always be on, right? How many times have you experienced that in the past week? It's really important that you're understanding how workplace and burnout and your well-being are all working together, or are they not? And it's important to think about that. And so the one other statistic that I'll just give you about burnout today is like a stats day. And so we mix it up. Sometimes it's more, experiential, sometimes it's more verbal and numbers, and that's all good. So it goes overall based on your definition of job burnout, an extreme form of work-related stress, right? So we've talked about burnout in past episodes. You can go to aclowellness.com and go to our blog. You can see all the resources about burnout. But it says, how would you rate your level of burnout on a scale of 1 to 4? And 33% say that they're experiencing at least one symptom of burnout, such as physical or emotional exhaustion, and a sense of just intense anxiety. And so here's the thing, right? What do we do about this? Because it feels big and it feels hard, and I don't even know where to begin. Start with you. When we can put our oxygen mask on first, we have an opportunity to then support others. So if you're feeling burnt out, give yourself this moment right now to do something about it. They say Unprecedented times call for unprecedented opportunities, and this is your opportunity. Whether you're in a state that's transitioning out of COVID, or you're in a state that's right back in it as if it were March all over again, know that you have some control. You might not have control of whether or not you can wear a mask or whether or not you should wear a mask. You might not have control over what's going on in the news or all of these things happening in your world, but you do have control over how you take care of yourself. You have control over your well-being. And so this is my invitation for you. If you are feeling the heaviness of burnout, if you're feeling the importance of taking care of yourself, which is the number 2 thing, right? Managing stress was the number 2 priority. So I know you're out there. I know you're feeling it. I know you're experiencing it, but you don't have to solve it on your own. And so my invitation to you is to reach out, to talk to me, to talk to someone you know, to talk to a friend or a mentor or a loved one, and tell them what you're experiencing. There are so many tools and tricks and techniques that are on every single Wellness Wednesday. So if you know a friend who's experiencing burnout, send this to them. Or if you know that you're experiencing burnout, join every week or come back on the blog and re-watch the videos. They are here for you always. I heard some of you even binge watch, which has been really cool because then you get all the tips in one kind of bundle, which is awesome. So if you're feeling like, hey, I'm feeling the heaviness of burnout, you're right, it's looking different. I've even read a study earlier today that was telling me that exercise is a third lower than it has been for most of us, right? So less of us are working out. More of us are feeling more lonely. More of us are feeling low energy. All of these things are happening, and now is your opportunity to create change. Routines happen over periods of time. They say up to 40 days before a routine becomes a habit. Notice what your habits have been during COVID. It's been way over 40 days. So it's really important to take a personal audit, check yourself, what's going good, what can go better, and then take action. Take action. Take action. Don't wait for things to get better outside. Don't wait for 2021. I can't tell you how many times I hear how much people hate this year. You have an opportunity to make this year your best year yet. It's only halfway done. We have half of the year to go. It's not too late to make this year your best year. It's not too late to take your well-being into your own hands. It's not too late to end burnout. So my invitation to you today is to do something, to take one small action. Maybe it means I'm going to go to bed earlier tonight. Maybe it means I'm going to reach out to a mentor. Maybe it means I'm going to participate in Wellness Wednesday. Whatever that is, I encourage you to take action because it's the decision where everything happens. If we're living in indecision, if we're living in limbo, if we're living in confusion, it starts to build. The confusion builds, but the decision is where everything gets clear, where everything starts to move forward. And I promise you in that decision, everything starts to get better. So this is our Wellness Wednesday for today. Women in the workplace, I feel you. What you're feeling, I've been there, I experienced it, I know. And I also know that you have an opportunity to overcome it, to break through it, to thrive, not because of it, not because you avoided it. Hope that makes sense. Anyway, thank you so much for joining this week. I had so much fun connecting with each of you. Thank you for your sweet comments. I hope you found this really beneficial. Share this. If you feel that you've learned something and you find a friend who's experiencing burnout, hardworking women who just can't take a break, send this to her. Send her a loving note and say, thinking about you, watch this. That's all for today. Feel free to connect with me, Lauren at akaloawellness.com. Oh, I'm so happy to hear that this was beneficial for you. Thank you for your sweet comment, Missy. Everybody, I am here for you if I can be in any way. Don't hesitate to reach out. You can find me on Facebook, Instagram, Zoom, online, email, phone number, any way you want to connect with me, I'm available for you. So don't hesitate to reach out. We are in this together. Although it feels like we're apart, we are absolutely in this together, here for you along that journey. Have a beautiful rest of your day. I look forward to talking to you next week as we continue our Women in the Workplace. All right, everybody. Thank you, Suki. Thank you, Jeannie. Thank you, everybody, for joining. Have a beautiful rest of your day. Take care. Bye.